Hello, hello, hello. I hope I am where I should be. Mr. G has set this up because I have taken Sarah's spot. Good morning, Elaine. Nice to see you here. Yes. Let me just check. Sorry, you can see me scrolling around in my mouse. It says I am live in Crafting Together with All Brands. So I'm going to go back to StreamYard. So if you are in YouTube, which is where Elaine is, I can see you because we are streaming to various places. Tonight we are Crafting Together with All Brands. And I will be using Olga Heldmein's 2 stamp set. Well, I'm definitely using these 3 bottles from her Drink Me set for Funky Fossil, and then Cast a Spell. I think I will be using this. I have a plan. At 2:30 in the morning, Elaine, in South Australia. Crazy. Hi, Caroline. Wow. Yes, I know the time difference is just quite wild. Yeah, so that really is a ridiculous o'clock. It's not even normal morning. So welcome. I'm going to try and see if I can just switch across to Crafting Together with All Brands, see if I can find myself there and hello, refresh this. Yes, refresh that one. So I can see if I can see. Yes, I am. And I see Sarah, you are in, and Kathy and Brian and Margaret. Okay, so your comments in the group are not coming through my StreamYard studios. So, okay, we will just have to do what I can. I can only see YouTube comments because I'm in StreamYard. If those of you who've never done any live streaming before, it's a program that we use so that I can see supposedly your comments. Yes, I see Steph, Caroline, and Isabel are in YouTube. So these are the stamps. And while I remember, Sarah has kindly said I can do a giveaway. So just remind me at the end of the live that I need to pick a name, a random name off the screen, and you will win both of these stamp sets. And Sarah needs your address so that she can post it out on Monday. Hello, Philippa. Hello, Peapods. So, yes, she has kindly offered to do a giveaway. You're in the group. You're seeing Facebook comments, I think. No, Sarah, I'm switching. I have a little mouse, a wireless mouse, and I am switching screens so that I can see Rana and Maxine, so that I feel like I am not, so that I'm not ignoring everybody, because only in the StreamYard can I see YouTube. I can see Olga. Olga's in the house. You happy to copy and paste? Thanks, Olga. Yes, please do that. If anybody has any questions, we've got the designer of these in the house over in YouTube. So my plan for tonight is I have die cut some of these lovely flowers in both black and in white. If we have enough time, I will color those. I don't think there's anybody after me on the live, so I normally run for about an hour. So if, yeah, I try not to go over an hour, but sometimes. So these are previous pages that I have done in previous lives before, and usually what I do is I stick 2 pages together. So I'm using my Funky Fossil art journal that Sarah still has online, and what I do is, because I use sprays, which I'll be showing you now, which is why I've got my desk covered up to the hilt, my microphone keeps glitching. Nobody else is saying that, Craft Haven. Hopefully it is not my microphone and it is maybe your internet. So what I do when I do a sprayed page like this, because a lot of mace goes through, I then skip a page and do the next one. And when I'm done, I glue them together. So this is a page that I have prepped, but I have not finished. So therefore it is still not glued. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to skip this page because as you can see, it's all messy. And I'm going to start the next one. Sound is fine for Steph. Sound is okay for Teresa. Okay, so Craft Haven, perhaps it is just your internet. Perhaps try hopping over to Facebook if YouTube is being glitchy. That's the only suggestion. Or restart your router. In my house, it could, the internet is dodgy when someone uses the microwave. I kid you not. So they've all been banned from using the microwave tonight. So I'm just moving my mouse out of spray zone. And I've got some old, and you can see I just reused them, some old boxes from some cereal that I use to protect my other pages from overspray. So I'm going to just pop that in there. And it doesn't matter if you use the printed side or the cardboard side. So, is your microphone, maybe my microphone's being really sensitive. So I've decided I want a fairly neutral background. And I'm going to go with frayed burlap, which when I spritz with water, which reminds me my water spray is where in the bathroom and not refilled. Okay, so this is going to get interesting because I have to run and fetch it because that one is not working. I'll be back in a second. So, what? Okay, I'm back. Coming in from the mega distance and beyond. It helps when you plan and you think you're organized and you leave it in the bathroom. Okay. Right. So I've chosen frayed burlap on purpose. This is oxide spray because it will give me a few colors. Okay. So now what I do is I spritz one side of the page first I spritz it with a bit of water just to damp the paper. Then I'm going to give a generous spritz with the color. I'm going to add even more water now that I've got the color on there because what I want to do is I want to be able to transfer this color from one side to the other, like so. And you can see it did go through. Then we take my very sexy roller towel, which as you can see just is for this particular job. I learned this trick from Diane Reevely. And what you do is you roll it like this. So what it does is it blends the two pages together and whatever oozes out the top, the bottom, and the side gets absorbed by this very pretty paper towel. Now we go and have a look what it's given me. Oh, that looks interesting. Right, now we blow dry. So, okay. Bella, we have a request. Brian Newbegin. Belinda, can you give a shout to Southern Muti watching? Hallo, Shin Muti, wie geht's? Hello, Sophie, darling. Have you got biscuits? Yes, Teresa, I love frayed burlap because when you add the water, like I can see here, it's giving me what I call duck egg glue. It's giving me the sort of orangey tones. It's really giving me some really gorgeous colors. Good evening, Vanessa. Suddenly Facebook is popping in. Those of you who are on Facebook on the actual page. So Sophie, you must be on the page. Vanessa, Sue, hi Sue, you are on the page. It's when you're in a group. So Facebook took the ability to go live in groups away, and we have a bit of a workaround. When I say go live in groups, using a third-party app, which is what we are using to be able to go horizontal. Because otherwise, I have discovered that you can only go live vertical, which is very difficult to craft in a narrow little screen. And I'm going to call that done. Ow! Don't touch that. It's metal and it's hot. So, good. Sophie has biscuits. Sophie is a lovely biscuit-aholic. And Sophie, last I saw, was knitting hats. Sophie, if I had to knit anything, there would be more air than there would be wool, and the hat would be completely useless to anybody. So that's why I'm a paper crafter and mixed media artist. Because otherwise, yes. Right. So now I can take all my desk protection away. So what I've got, I just had a whole lot of paper towel here to protect my desk. So I'm going to take that away. And then I have got a very much homemade, as you can see in the background here, spray booth, which was a milk box container. That looks a whole lot better. Yay! So now we are going to, where is Sophie? Sophie is on, she's on the page. In other words, on Funky Fossil page, not on the group. So that's why I can see Sophie's comments. So what I've decided to do is I want to use these stamps, and I'm going to use that one in the vase, and I'm going to use these ones which I want to turn into vases. But first what I have to do is I have to create some sort of base. And for that I need some low-tack masking tape. So I'm going to make a little fake table like so. So I'm making a fake table, and I'm just going to, let's try and have a straight fake table. We don't want our bottles falling off. So those of you in Crafting Together with All Brands, I am not ignoring you. I just need to keep checking and seeing. Yes, Sarah, the colors are coming out fad. Didn't realize they do that. So, Sarah, it's only frayed burlap, and there is another one that does that also changes colors. I'm just looking for it. It is my most used. Olga will know it too. It's frayed burlap, and the other one is brushed corduroy. So these two will give off secondary colors. So can you, Charmaine's asking if we can share the links to products. Okay, so let me see if, no, she's not in. Okay, maybe you can do it in the chat. I will have a look and see. So let's go to the stamps. Sorry, I'm adminning at the same time. We have a special duo set. I'm just going to copy and paste that link so that hopefully it will pop up everywhere. Let's just check that. So there we go. There are the stamps. So that's the duo. It's a special set sold together. You can buy them separately. And what I'm going to be using now to create my floor, or my, I don't know what you want to call it, my table, my surface that I am working on. Let's just check and see if that worked. Yes, it did. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm just using the brush And I'm using vintage photo over the top because what I'm trying to do is just give the feeling that there is a, I don't know, a desk, a table, a sideboard, or something that we're going to have our lovely bottles on. And at this point, I'm really just demarcating that far edge, like the distant edge. I'm not really wanting to go into too much detail yet on the table area. So I'm just giving my table an edge. And I see Sarah is in the chat. She's now hopped over to YouTube. Olga is never not supervised. She now has 3 cats supervising her. For those of you who don't know, I have a cat that I call the supervisor. His real name is Marmalade, but we call him the supervisor because he always has to stick his nose in. Right, so next trick, I am going to definitely use this one, and I am going to pop it on a block. But because I want to use it as a vase and I'm stamping straight onto here, I'm not stamping on, sneaking into Sue's craft room. Sophie says, oh, look, donuts. I am going to just block off the lid because I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to try and just block that area off there when I'm inking up, because I don't want the lid to print. If I was doing this on a separate piece of paper, I would just cut off that bit, but we're not. Sarah is cheating. It's usually Mr. G who logs in under the Funky Fossils account. Sarah's being sneaky. Yes, she is. She's showing off her techno prowess over there. And I was having a panic attack backstage. So, Sarah, you can ignore all my messages because I couldn't see the create. I don't know what Mr. G did. I called Mr. G a techno wizard earlier because he managed to get us to go live here. Right, so I'm going to put this one fairly close to this edge and near the front edge. Okay. I called Mr. G a techno wizard because I could see the countdown on the crafting together with all brands group, but I couldn't see it backstage, and I was having a minor panic attack that apparently I needn't have worried. So now I'm going to do some CPR on the stand. Yes, Elaine, I absolutely love these bottles. Right. Okay, so there we have a lidless bottle. And there's still some bits that didn't stamp. Now the trick, I find if it's slightly damp, it might not stamp. I'm going to try and see if I can just repair that one bit a little bit. And there we go. I know that freaks Olga's freak because I can do that. When we very first met, the first few times we would meet at, this is Olga and myself here in Berlin, we would meet at a coffee shop and we would craft together and, work in art journals and things. And so I misstamped something and then I fixed it, and she just she sat there with her jaw on the floor. What can be, if it's damp, it will not stamp. It can be my catchphrase. But that is something that I have found. So that might be the case, and I didn't overly dry this. So right, we protected that one. This one is quite dark. So I think I'm going to have it further back on the page, and I want to have 3. Now I just need to see how fat this one is. I'm not fat shaming the stamp, please, people. We're not going there, but I just need to see how much space I need to give it. Okay, so that'll work quite nicely. So I'll go with this one round about here, and I'm going to stand up and give it CPR. Hi, Joan. Yes, Olga, maybe you are damp. It's the weather. You can blame the Berlin weather. It's always raining in Berlin. Clouds come over at 4 o'clock, no matter whether it's summer or winter. In winter, they hang around all day. Okay, let's see. Have I given it enough CPR? Yay! And then we're going to stamp the last one. So something to be aware of, people, when you are working with the clear stamps. I have found I always used to use, and I still do use, archival ink, but it will make your stamps go a funny color and not stay transparent. I have been using these stamps, and you just clean them with alcohol, and they stay perfectly clear. But until I discovered this wonderful ink, courtesy of Miss Sarah, Mrs. G, I only used the Ranger ink, and a whole lot of my stamps are off color. When I say off color, let me just grab my ones. So these are my farmyard crew, and you can see they've gone pink, and that is because I was using the archival ink. So you live and learn, people. You live and learn. Hi, Fiona. It is looking interesting. I'm having fun. I'm turning Olga's perfume bottles or elixir bottles or spell bottles, whatever she planned them on being when she designed this set. I'm turning them into vases. So I'm chopping off their heads, which is quite October-ish, really. Actually, it sounds more like Alice, which is appropriate seeing as this set is called Drink Me. There's two sets here that I've got on my desk. One is Drink Me, and the other one is Cast a Spell. So, yes, the Drink Me one is appropriate. Ouch. Okay, let's stamp this one. Okay, so let's bring this one. I don't want it as far forward as this one. Don't want it as far back as that one. It is quite big, so that one is smaller, so I put it further back because that's an optical illusion. This one and that one are about the same size, but I don't want it as far forward as this one. So I'm just playing optical illusions here. Your stamps are okay, Caroline. Yes. And that'll be because you're using VersaFine Claire. So it's just something that I learned en route. It's one of those things, and we'll give some CPR. I'm only giving CPR because I'm working in a book, and it's not necessarily always flat. Certainly on that side where I've got other things stuck from other pages. So let's just see. Perfect. Okay, now what I'm going to do is this one just needs to finish the back of the bottle, like so. This one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to optically illusion it into being an ellipse. And then this one I'm going to make into an ellipse as well, so that it looks like the bottle is open. So we're just going to make that into an ellipse. And then we're going to make it darker over there so that it just looks like the top of the bottle. There we go. Right. You have both. You use archival inks and you use a special cleaner. Aha! I do not have a special cleaner. Maybe therein lies the mystery. I normally, like now, because I've been using them, just clean it with a rag or just paper towel. I don't normally clean my stamps in between using them too much, only if I'm going to change color. So now we have some space for something else. What else have we got on here that we can put on the table? How about a test tube or two that can come forward? Because I like sets. So I've chosen, Olga's put 3 bottles on the set. So I've chosen the 3 bottles. But if I add a test tube, it means I need something else going on because we can't have 4 things. Anyone have YouTube suspend reactivate their account? No. What a pain, Karen. I don't know. YouTube's been up to all sorts. I can't say that that has happened to me, thank goodness. Okay, so now I'm going to Sarah's having conniptions at the thought of dog skulls because there's cat skull. This is a cat skull for those of you who didn't know. This is a cat skull over here. Somebody else is wanting a dog skull and somebody else is wanting a pigeon. Oh dear, you lot. Right, okay. So maybe what I'll do is I'm going to stamp these. I'm going to do 2 of them and I'm going to stamp them very lightly in vintage photos so that they're there but not there. How's about that? And we'll have one kind of lying horizontal. And then that works. We're going to have another one. Now I need masking tape again because I want it to look like it's coming from behind this one. And that tore very obligingly at an angle so that we have 5 things on the table. And I'm gonna want it to look like it's coming forward from behind that bottle. So mask that off. While I'm giving that CPR, let's just see what's happening. Sarah's saying a saber-toothed cat. Sophie's now hopped over into crafting together with all brands. So he's saying hello. She's saying hello to everybody. Okay, let me go back to so I can see what's happening on my screen. Multitasking here, people. Right, so there we go. Now that looks like that's coming out from behind that one. Now what I want to do is I want to color these a little bit. And for that, I'm going to use I've got 2 things on my desk that I'm going to use. I have pastel pencils, which I rather like. I've only got them in a very simple set of colors. And then I have put my Tim Holtz pencil crayons into this new thing because this is, and I bought 2 and I took this middle one sheet apart. I literally cut it out and then it made 2 because you fold it over like that. So now I have everything in rainbow order and that makes my little heart happy. So I'm going to stand this in front of me and I'm going to use the brown. So I'm going to have my scorched timber and I'm going to have that one out of it. And then I'm going to quite possibly just leave those ones there because I'm going to work with those. And what I like to do now, remembering that I've already got a water reactive background here, I'm probably going to try and just color most of the time. And so I'm going to go with tones of what is already here. Yes, Carolyn, it is a very practical case because I found that I was getting annoyed with all the tins. They were just, too many. And I had already put them in the various color rainbows as I could. But I was finding that that was just cumbersome, especially when doing lives. And I travel a lot and I want to take them with me to color on trains and things. And trains, planes, and automobiles. And then that just wasn't working. So I had them just in their black plastic pieces, in another tin, sort of in layers, and then that was a bit floppy and cumbersome because then they would, and I couldn't really see everything so easily. So what I'm trying to do here is just hide this line that is showing through. And I'm going to give it some shadowing. So I always like, if you've ever been in any of my lives or classes before, I always like to have my light coming from the right, partly because that rhymes and it's easy to remember. And secondly, because then I don't have to think. It means I can always put shadows on the left-hand side. So I can talk and color and multitask. So I need to bring some down here. Now, the thing with glass is it tends to reflect a lot of the colors that are around it. This one is scorched timber, so it's really nice and dark. And so there will be some highlight areas. And there will be some dark reflective areas even on the highlight side. So I love drawing glass, love playing with glass. So we'll just bring some colors in like that. And these bottles are so beautifully detailed that you really don't actually need huge amounts of coloring on them anyway, because the image is just already so good. Question: what are the pencils to my right? So to my right, these are pastel pencils. So I'm going to play with these on top. So pastel pencils are like, you get pastel sticks. These are chalk pastels. Or if you are American, they're pastels. I call them pastels. And so the only thing with this is now I've turned it sideways and our liquid is now magically solid inside the tube. I'm not sure what liquid that is, Olga, but it doesn't run when you turn it sideways. So we can just have our liquid kind of just doing something else over there. And certainly over here, I'm just going to color that in a little bit more. And I'm going to color the test tube cork with brushed corduroy inside and outside its tube. And right, let's give some of this brushed corduroy up here. So at this point, I'm kind of just scribbling some color on because I am going to come with my water brush and activate it. But as I said, I've got a water-based background here, so I do have to be careful that I'm not going to activate too much of that. Right, let me check and see what is going on in crafting together with all brands. Cheryl's saying, loving your background, really nice colors coming through. Thank you. It's only showing me 4. Let's go 4. I want to see all my comments. Come on, you Facebook. Facebook is being dastardly. Yeah, okay, sorry. struggling to see crafting together with all brands play. Maybe then it'll give me comments. Comments, please. Facebook would be nice. Oh, there you are. Sarah is packing stencils for Lincoln Craftorama this weekend. Who's going? Is anyone going? Because there's going to be lots of people there. Sarah, can you say what times the Craftorama is and where it is? Because I know as a crafter, I prefer to, if I can, purchase products in person where I can look and see and gauge what it is that I'm actually buying. So this is a water brush. If you haven't come across it before, basically, I don't know if you can see it. There's water in the barrel there, and you just squeeze it. I'm going to do it over my hand. You see, and the water comes out. So the idea is not to do that, of course. It was just to show you guys that the water constantly flows through, so you don't have to have water on your table and constantly having to be washing your brush. So now for that reason, I am starting with the palest color, which was the brushed corduroy that I brought through, and I'm going to bring it down onto this black ink because it has a lot of pigment and it will help to shade some of this. So yeah, I don't know why Facebook is just being dastardly otherwise about comments and about group work, and yeah, it just makes us as live streamers jump through lots of hoops. So now that I have done the lightest color, I'm just zooming my brush all over the darker colors to bring out that side. It's so forgiving. And as I said, it's also going to activate some of the background color, which is going to moosh in as well, which is always good. So let's play here first on the light side before we move to the dark side. This is just such an easy way to color these. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be a professional. You can just play and zoom your brush around, having dabbed some color down. So I really like to do that. So what you can also do is, if you're wanting to lift the color, so I have put the you can lift some of the color as well once you wet it. Okay, so you can just clean your brush off on some paper towel. I quite like how that is looking myself. Thank you, Peapods. Right, so now what I'm going to do is, now we need to decide on what we're going to do in the background. And I have got Olga's stencils. So what I have done is I have made myself my own little sleeves for all of Sarah's funky fossil. It's just a normal sleeve, which I have fused. I have an online group that I teach private classes in, and this is one of the lessons where I made my own stencil storage. And I know I've got Olga's new stencil that goes with this lot over here. So there we go. Just makes my life easier to have all my funky stencils in one place. So before I put the flowers in, I think this is the stencil I'm going to use. I can also stencil some of these flowers. And so now we need to decide who is getting which. So now I have about 20 minutes left of this live, and we need to decide which bottle is getting which flower. Something like that. I like that. So that's heavy, and that's lighter. I might color these and add them on top, or I might just keep the page fairly monochromatic. I'm in a monochromatic mood. So hi Trudy, welcome. So I might just go monochrome. Yes, in fact, I think I've decided I'm going monochrome. How about that? So what I'm going to do is leave those where they are, and I'm going to stencil in this corner over here. I'm going to bring it right over, and for that I'm going to use some Black Soot Distress with my yummy funky fossil brush. Love these brushes, they are just delicious. And I'm going to make my stencil work quite dark on this edge, and then I'm going to just let it fade in. Okay, so let's see what we got. Bring it in a little bit more. Right, and now I'm going to, fake it till you make it. I'm going to join the sentence up a little bit over there. Perfect. Now I want to link up the other side. And I'm going to do just a little bit over there. And bring some down here. Great. I like the way that's going. Yes. Perfect. So we're going to keep it monochrome, I think. And so what I'm going to do, this one can actually just be glued down right there, and I'm going to trim off and trim it off there. And oh dear, Sarah. You literally just did this on your YouTube video for Sunday. Did you know that Sarah does a YouTube video that goes live every Sunday? It's an art journal thing. I'm very much an art journaler. For those of you who hadn't noticed, every time I get a chance to do a live, it's usually a journal page that I will opt for. Right, we have that one. Now I'm going to snippety snip. So we're going to snip that there and glue that, because when you have glass, it refracts. Hello, Brian. Brian has left the dark side and he's come to YouTube where I can see your comments. Sarah, you're going to have to redo it because I'm going to say that you copied me. Or I'm going to say that you were inspired by me. Isn't that funny how we don't talk about these things behind the scenes, but it's very often that more people across the globe get. So I'm going to do a rest of the stem down there. People across the globe can, I don't know, I swear sometimes there's some sort of cloud that spreads itself around the world. Okay, so now this is where it gets tricky. So I'm going to have that one going right up there because I can. And we will now glue this one in place. I'm going to just glue these little tiny tendrils. And this glue price that I am using is by Sweet Petunia, and it has the Nuvo glue inside. I absolutely love it. It has a little stand, and it means that it is always available when you need it. You can leave it open on its little stand, and it's crafter's dream. So now we're going to have that up there, and I will probably have to draw the rest of the stem in. You've used the bottle, one of the bottles as a vase. The rest is all your own work. Ah, yeah. Heard this before. I can't claim ownership to this idea, people. I'm sure a trillion other people have done this. Oh, there's a piece I didn't push out. You know, when I studied graphic design in our very first lesson, our lecturer turned to us and said, "Nothing you ever produce will be original. You will have seen it somewhere, and be inspired by something somewhere. So get off your high horses. Nothing you do is original." We were devastated. Okay, so now I think now I'm going to draw the rest in. Unless, let's see, maybe, yeah, something like that. Okay. Now, yeah, I like that one. No, but then, okay. One thing at a time, Belinda. Okay, so now there would be sort of hints of it coming through here because it would be refracted. And then we'll have it coming here. And then it would be coming, say, through there. And then like so. A little thicker maybe. And then this one needs to come down there. And then maybe go this way. And maybe we'll see a bit of it through there. And then this one can also curve. And this one needs to join up a little bit more. Yeah, that works. That works for me. Okay. Dankeschön, Brian. Brian says, "Das ist wunderschön." That is wonderful. Dankeschön. Right. Now, because I have not made myself little masks, and I've only got 13 minutes left of this live, because I only like to go live for an hour. I am going to use these chalk pastels. So this is where having the chalk pastels is really great, because with the watercolor ones, I would want to activate them to fade them out, and that is going to give me water stain splotches, which is not the end of the world as things go, because whoever made these little flower arrangements, although you can hardly call one stem in a vase an arrangement, they could have messed water on the table. And yeah, so because if you came into the live late, I always say I have the light coming from the right, and therefore my shadows are all on the left. And the nice thing is that you can now put the shadowing and shading around and underneath. And now I'm going to, so that was brown. And now I'm going to come in with a bit of black right up against this edge over there to make it pop out a little bit more. And black in there. And then I'm going to take a paintbrush I've just got a normal, it's soft but fairly firm, and I'm going to fade that out. So you will get a lot of dust with this, which you can just blow away, but it just means you can fade it like so and control it without water. So hello Hannah, I know you're late, not a problem at all. Don't forget, any of you, if you have missed the beginning of the live, it is recorded. We happen to be going live in YouTube as well, on Funky Fossil website, Facebook page. So there are lots of places you can find it if you can't find it in the group afterwards, because tonight's live is actually for crafting together with all brands. And so we just thought, well, why not spread the love, spread it out. So we're also on the Funky Fossil page. I'm going to almost call that done, except that now I can play with a little bit of detail in the flowers. As I said, do I fix the pastel pencils or will they smudge on your pages? To be honest, I can rub off 90% of what is on there and it's not going to smudge. Like what I did there is not going to smudge. You can fix it, but then it's going to, if I spray fixative on this, it's going to affect my background. So no, I am just going to rely on that. Let's try and find a clean finger. It's not really coming off. It's not going to come off on the other pages. So now I want to create the center of my daisy. And I'm going to just I can probably give a little bit of a detailing in there as well. It's really just a hint at some division between the petals. And I'm just, oh, excuse me, smudging it out. So and this one, what would it have? This one's probably got just little centers in the flowers-ish. Not much in the way of detail, but let's make a stem line there with some leaf lines. It's just a nice way to give some detail without. So this one looks like it's in front, so we will make that one paler. Darker things go behind, paler things come in front. So we'll leave those. This one needs maybe a little bit of detail there. And now I'm going to bring in a little bit of white. Just on that side. And on the bottles themselves, because now that's what makes them really shiny, is where you can get the highlight. And I'm just going to smudge that in and call it done. And smudge that one in. And smudge this one in. There we go. So for those of you who are a little confused as to why you've got me tonight, Sarah and I have swapped because she's supposed to be packing oodles of stock for you guys to go and buy at the show. And I have to choose a winner. I have to choose a winner for tonight. Who's gonna win a chicken dinner? No, you don't get a chicken dinner. You get Olga's lovely stamp sets. So how do I pick a winner? Thanks, Elaine. I do love attention to detail, and it's the little things that really make things sort of come alive, like the shadows and the highlights. So I want these guys there, but not too much there. And I don't actually think that that needs any more, except I'm going to, what I always like to do, especially where my page didn't get enough color, I always darken the edges of my pages. So I'm just going to go around with a tool. I find this easier to do than with a brush. So that's my own little personal thing. Can pick a name. Oh, yes, Ellie, I didn't realize you were in the house. Yes, Ellie, if you can pick a name, please, that would be awesome. And then that person needs to, and it can be from, seeing as this is a crafting together with all brands, perhaps it should be from their page. Making up rules as we go along, of course. It's what we do best. Winging it on the fly. Right. And I'm going to call that done. Ta-da! Hannah, it's a craft fair in Lincoln. Yes, there is a craft fair going on in Lincoln, and that is where Sarah is going this weekend, which is why she is packing and I am arting on your screen. So, Ali, where are you going to put the name, Ali? I wonder if I should have, having said that's finished, should I have a stem down here coming from behind there? Because I've got 3. No, then I'm going to need more. No, I'm leaving well alone. Leaving well alone. Sophie! Oh, yay. Well done, Sophie. Sophie is our winner. And you need to get your address, your postal address to our lovely Sarah, please. Sarah Gray. Congratulations, Sophie. Well done. Go and eat an extra biscuit. So let me just hop on over and see who is still in the Facebook group. Yes, Donna's saying Facebook keeps throwing you out. Sorry, you keep coming back. Yay, Donna. So Erica, don't worry. If you're late, you can watch on catch up. As I said, it's on the Funky Fossil YouTube as well as on the group. If you can't find it here, because I say here, because we're all over the place tonight, in the Crafting Together with All Brands, we have a lovely lineup of people and companies who are spreading the love and inspiring you guys. So, there are lots of lives, so you might lose it on the Crafting Together with All Brands group. So you'll be able to find us on Sarah's Funky Fossil page, and Sarah will be live in Crafting Together with All Brands next Tuesday at 7 p.m. UK time, and I will be live on the Funky Fossil Why Not Wednesday live next week. So have an awesome weekend, everybody. Thanks for your time. Thanks for joining this evening, all your chat and comments. We even had the designer of these stamps in tonight. Very honored. So well done, Sophie, and bye for now.